I'm tangled up in Jesus. I'm tied up, I'm tangled up in God. Wrapped up, I'm tied up, tangled up in Jesus. Wrapped up, I'm tied up, I'm tangled up in God. This light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. There's no light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. There's no light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it wrapped up, tied up, tangled up in God.
Everybody stand up. We're going to sing that tonight.
Wrapped up, I'm tied up, I'm tangled up in Jesus. Wrapped up, I'm tied up, I'm tangled up in God. Wrapped up, I'm tied up, I'm tangled up in Jesus. Wrapped up, I'm tied up, I'm tangled up in God. The light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. I'm tied up, tangled up in God.
Y'all have a seat, find your hymn book. I think it was 139 and 140. Liz, is that what's pulled up over there? 139 and 140. $139, the first Noel. We'll sing all 6 verses, but let's do 2 at a time and then the chorus. Does that make sense? So we'll do 2 verses and a chorus, 2 verses and a chorus, 2 verses and a chorus. I think that's 6. I may be wrong. I've been wrong several times in my life, and it will not be the last. As we sing the first Noel, 2 verses at a time. The first Noel, the angel did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. They looked up and saw a star shining in the they can shove some words in there with some phrases. You really got to watch. It'll humble the best of us, that's for sure. Right over to page 140, we'll sing all 4 verses of It Came Upon the Midnight Clear. It came upon the midnight clear, that glorious song of old, from angels bending near the earth to touch their harps of gold. Peace on the earth, goodwill to men, from heaven's all gracious King. The world in solemn stillness lay to hear the angels sing. Still through the cloven skies they come, with peaceful wings unfurled, and still their heavenly music flows o'er all the weary world. Above its sad and lowly plains, they bend on hovering wing, and ever o'er its babble sounds the blessed angels sing. And ye beneath life's crushing load, whose forms are bending low, who toil along the climbing way with painful steps and slow, look now for glad and golden hours come swiftly on the wing. Oh, rest beside the weary road and hear the angels sing. For lo, the days are hastening on, by prophet Mark's foretold, when with the ever-circling years comes round the age of gold, when peace shall over all the earth its ancient splendors flame, and the whole world give back the song which now the angels sing. We may sing one later. We'll see what the evening holds. I really don't know how long some of this may take, and I don't know who's going first or who's doing what. Deandra? The ladies are going to sing. The girls? Are the girls going to sing first? The girls are going to sing first.
Thank you, girls. I appreciate you sharing that beautiful song. And we do have something a little different tonight. I can't believe it's already time for Deandra and Carolina to be going to Bulgaria. And that happens this coming week. And Deandra wanted to share some things tonight. And I said, man, that'd be great. And we also, because this morning was so full, we didn't take the time to stop and to send them out, which we traditionally like to do. And so we want to do that tonight as part of our service and praying the Lord's blessings over them and that he would use them mightily for his kingdom and the work that he's called them to do over there. So I'm going to get out of the way and turn it over to Deandra and Carolina. And I'm going to turn my mic off and just make sure this one's good. We good to go? All right. Bless you, sis.
All right, let me get my stuff together. So I told Brother Steve I had really, really wanted to do a dramatic reading tonight, and just with the hustle and bustle of everything going on, that did not happen. But I hope to do that one day in the future. It's called Amy Carmichael's Dream. She was a missionary, and it's pretty powerful. But I do plan on sharing some stuff with you. Carolina and Lillian are handing out our schedule. I invite you to get a pen or pencil out and scribble all over this. And I really would appreciate your prayers. We have, and I tried to put when we knew how many students we would be giving Operation Christmas Child bags to, I put that down so you can see how many. And I'll just go over it in just a minute. And I do welcome you all to ask me questions at the end if I know the answers. I quite possibly will not know any of the answers. We will be with Amy and Jonathan Polsterwaite in Pleven, Bulgaria, and I don't even know how far of a drive it is from Sofia, where we will be flying into. Sofia is the capital in Bulgaria. If you're not familiar with where Bulgaria is, I think most of us kind of know where the boot of Italy is. Just east of Italy is Greece, and Bulgaria is just above Greece. It touches Greece and Turkey and the Black Sea there. So it is way east Europe. And it's an old country, so I think they have a lot of historical things. One of the ladies, we had a Zoom meeting yesterday, and one of the ladies was like, I'd really love to see a castle. And Jonathan was like, well, we can show you some ruins, but I don't know if we'll be able to show you a castle. So it's a very old part of the world. And we have quite a few missionaries. Bulgaria is kind of one of our newer countries. I don't know how long we've been in Bulgaria. I would say the last 10 or 15 years is about how long we've been in Bulgaria. There is a general, for the most part, thought of being Christian in Bulgaria, and in saying that, they've got family members who may have been Roman Catholic at some point in time in their life, and so therefore that's what they say they are. There's a lot of Muslim influence there also, not as much as people who say that they're Roman Catholic, but again, if they darken the doors of a church, it may be once a year. So most of the people are not aware of the true gospel. And that's one of the things that our missionaries have said is, it's people kind of want to know, like they want to know what the Bible's about, what things are about, and there's not really anybody to tell them. And so that's one of the big things that our missionaries are trying to do and be strategic in doing. We were blessed at the National this past year. They had on Wednesday morning, which was absolutely fantastic, they had several missionary kids come, and it was just a question and answer time, and it was fantastic. And we had, I'm trying to think, I think we had 3 or 4 missionary kids from Bulgaria that all go to public school. And here, evolution is taught because it's in the curriculum, but it's not taught as truth. In Bulgaria, it is taught as truth, and if you don't believe it, then you're weird. And the girls were all saying that they didn't know of anybody in their school that was a Christian. And so just a completely different mindset and thought process. Jonathan and Amy have 3 children. They have a daughter that's 15, Anna. They have a daughter that is 13, Jonna. And they have a little boy that's 7, and for some reason I can't remember his name. Anna goes to school in the afternoons, and Jonna goes to school in the morning, so they take shifts. They said Anna finishes school about 7 o'clock at night. So it's just interesting the way things work out. All right, I'm going to jump into our schedule. You all can see, I was telling Brother Steve, we will be flying out of Muscle Shoals on Wednesday morning, and I've shared with the national offices, really the cheapest place to fly out of is Charlotte. Wanda is going on our trip. Jeremy's mom is going on the trip with us, and she's flying out of Charlotte. And I don't know if you all know this information for you all. You can fly from Muscle Shoals to Charlotte for about $75. So that really was kind of the cheapest route for us to go, and we'll be able to be with Nana the whole time. So she's going to pick us up at the airport, and we're going to gallivant a little bit before we check back in and hang out in the airport for a long, long time. So we'll fly from Charlotte to Washington, D.C., and then from Washington to Munich, Germany, and then we'll go from Munich to Sofia, Bulgaria. And I screenshot it so I could look at it. There is a 6-hour time change from here to Munich and an 8-hour from here to Sofia. So we should land in Munich at 12:55 p.m., which will be, 6:55 a.m. our time. And then we'll be leaving there at 3:30 p.m. their time. And we'll arrive in Bulgaria at 6:29 p.m. their time. So, 6:20 p.m. So it's a lot of traveling. I kind of laughed. I have gotten my international driver's license. I'll be driving our little group around. And Carolina can sleep anywhere, anytime. Wanda can sleep anywhere, anytime. I don't know about the other ladies. I don't sleep well on planes. So that would be a big prayer request, is that I can sleep some. I was like, so the person who doesn't sleep traveling is the one that has the driver's license. I don't know how good that's going to work. But anyway, we will hit the ground running on December 12th. That's Friday. We will have skip practice at the church. So we have 2 different teams. We have the Robinson girls, is what we've claimed ourselves as. We have Wanda and Carolina and myself. And then there's 3 other ladies. Julie is from Morristown area in East Tennessee. Barbara is her sister from in the same area. And then we have Neva, who is from the Memphis area. So they will all be meeting up in Chicago. But it worked perfectly. The Robinson girls will be doing a skit, and then the other ones will be doing a skit. They're going to have to come up with something fun for them to be called. But our skit is called The Shoemaker, and you all may be a little bit familiar with it. A shoemaker has a dream, and the Lord tells him he's going to come visit him the next day. And so an old woman comes and asks for food, and he feeds her. Homeless person comes and asks for something. I'm the homeless person. A child comes and asks for shoes. And then that night, God comes back to the shoemaker and is like, and the shoemaker's, I thought you were going to visit me. And he said, I did. And so that kind of segues into us being able to present the gospel. So that's one of the skits we're going to do. The other skit, and I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it's about a kingdom. So anyway, do you remember the details of that one? Okay. Too busy to notice the king. So I've put on here, we're partnering with Operation Christmas Child. So we will be going, and every time Operation Christmas Child goes out as an organization, the gospel is presented. The perfect gift is what they call their presentation. And it kind of goes from creation all the way through the cross and gives the entire presentation. So I'm excited to see it. I've heard about it, but I've never seen it, so I'm very excited to see it. All right, so we'll have skip practice, and then we'll go to an orphanage that afternoon. There's going to be 50 children there. And worship night practice, Carolina will be singing and playing the guitar, and I am going to be doing the sound and doing a PowerPoint. We'll see how that goes. In my mind, I had the soundboard up there, and they're like, oh no, it's really easy. I'm like, okay, if you say so. On Saturday, December 13th, we'll have a joint party for 6 children's homes. There's going to be 80 children there. So it's going to be a huge thing. And then on December 13th, I want you all to circle that 7 p.m., and I guess that'll be, 11 a.m. on Saturday. There is an international school, medical school, in Pleven, Bulgaria. And some of those students go to the church at Pleven. And I didn't realize this before we signed up to go on this trip. It's a bilingual church, so we'll actually get to hear church in English. And the service will be in English. There will be international students, they said, from a lot of, from India and Southern Asia, from Africa. So people raised in all different religions and all different walks of life. And so they're expecting to have at least 100 people there coming to visit. They said the last time they did something like this, there was about 100 visitors from the university. So this is just a huge opportunity, and we know our God is great, and He can have people become Christians in Bulgaria and go back to their country that is a closed country that nobody can get into. So I'm really excited about that night. On Sunday next week, it's crazy because I'm talking about this week. On Sunday, we're going to divide into 2 different groups. I think Carolina's going to go with group 2. They're going to go to Svistov, I think is how you say it. That's where the Altries are and the Provos. And I'm not sure who's at the other church. And I'll be going to the children's home and to the detention center. And Jeremy asked me, he was like, so why is Jonathan not going to the detention center? And I said, well, it's a girls' detention center. So Amy is going there. And she was sharing with us yesterday that all 11 of them broke out this week. So hopefully they'll be there for us to go visit them when we get there. So Carolina and them will be doing something else. And then they do not have service in Pleven until 5 p.m. on Sunday. So that's their service time. So we'll all be together for that. And then again, on Monday morning, we hit the ground running. We'll be at one school. And then they said that kindergarten is like 3, 4, 5, and 6. Like it's the preschool and kindergarten age all together. So we'll see, 200 students that day. And then we are taking some gifts. Some of the other ladies are taking gifts. Child Evangelism Fellowship also is partnering with Jonathan and Amy, and they have some gifts. And so I was sharing when we were packing the boxes, unless it's just something that's extenuating circumstances, for the most part, each child will only get 1 shoebox in their lifetime. And so we will be packing boxes, gift bags, to give students and to give children who may have already gotten a shoebox in the past. So they are still getting gifts, it's just not the Operation Christmas Child. So we will be packing those things on Monday night. On Tuesday, we'll go to disability homes, and I'm pretty excited about that. I was sharing, I've been doing an online D group, and I was sharing with my prayer partner this time. She teaches at a college, but she also works specifically with autistic children. She's a therapist. And so I was talking with her, and I was like, oh, we're going to some disabled homes. Can you give me some ideas of things we can do? And so she did, and she was like, hey, I think our group can kind of do this as our service project. And so Jeremy's kind of laughed because we were just made a wish list on Amazon, and we would get Amazon boxes of different things. And he's like, what are we getting today? And I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know what we're getting. But we ordered a lot of house shoes. That was something they requested. But we also ordered some sensory toys and some plush animals and that kind of thing. But specifically for the children at the disabled home. And then on the 17th, we'll go to another village. And I am excited. They really talked about that one yesterday, and I can't say the name of the village. Jonathan said that this village is really looked down on, kind of like how the Bible says, how can anything good come from Nazareth? That's kind of this village. There's a lot of gypsies in this area. It's a very, very poor village. He said even the name of the town sounds very similar to the word for trash. Like it is just really looked down on. So we will be in that school and in the kindergarten. So we'll be in that village, and we're supposed to give out 490 boxes. So I'm pretty excited about that. And of course, in dealing with children on a daily basis, you have those that you just hold real close because they don't have it. And so anyway, it's kind of where I am on that one. On, I don't know what day we've gotten to, Wednesday maybe, we're going to another village, and you can see it says gift bags there. So that'll be some that we are building. And then we have another school in Plevin that we'll be going to with 25 students. And then we'll drive to Sophia, and I was going to ask yesterday to see where we were going to stay, and I don't know. Our flight leaves at 6:25 a.m. If you get to the airport at 4:25, and you get ready at 3:25, so I don't even know if we're staying anywhere. So I would imagine, I don't know. I don't know that we're going to pay for a hotel for that night, but I know we're driving in on Friday night, so we'll be ready to go to the airport. So if you've ever flown from east to west, it's one of those forever and ever long days. So we will be leaving at 11:25 p.m. this time, and we will be arriving in the United States where we're supposed to be the same day. So it'll be a long, long day. But I am so excited about this trip, and I'm just so thankful for the opportunity, and I thank you all so much for all your support and everything that you've done for us. I thank you for your prayers and financial support and just encouragement in this whole process. And there's 6 ladies going, and they said that we were going to safe places everywhere, that we didn't have to be overly concerned with where we're going and stuff, that they've made sure we're safe. One more big prayer request, and this is a big one. Jonathan went to pick up the shoe boxes from Operation Christmas Child, and they didn't have them. And so we're supposed to pick them up on Saturday morning. So that's huge, because I think we hand out on Saturday morning. So pray that we will get the shoe boxes we're supposed to get. And I know God's got it all worked out. Something I shared with my Sunday school class, I teach the teen girls, and I shared it with Pryor the other night. I love how God just puts the right timing in the right place. Wanda went and had her teeth cleaned last Monday, a week ago tomorrow, and she had a broken tooth, didn't know about it, and God had already caused a cancellation to happen this past Wednesday, and so she got it fixed this past Wednesday, and she didn't even know she had the problem. And I just love how God just works all that stuff out ahead of time. And so I know He's got it all in His control, and we have a schedule, but that doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen, but He's got it. So anyway, that's our trip. Does anybody have any questions for me or for us? I really don't know that I have any answers, to be honest. I do want to share. Go ahead. No, but just like we do. Just like we do. So I guess that would be the right side of the road, not the left. Yes, the right side of the road. Hopefully I'll be on the correct side of the road. I'm going, wait a second. No. If I'm not mistaken, that's just like the island of England and St. Croix. St. Croix drives on the left side. Every time for those of you who don't know, we went on vacation to St. Croix last summer and stayed with some friends. And every time we got in the car, that was something Jeremiah said every single time. Left side, Dad, because it was hard to remember. Anything else? Well, I'm going to share just a little bit unless you have something. And I am taking a long time. I'm sorry. So this past week in my devotions, I was reading in 1 Corinthians 12, and I have read it many, many, many times, and I know that you all have read it, where it talks about the body working together. And I wrote down some verses. We're supposed to be doing for our group a devotion. We're going to have devotions every night as our team. And so this just kind of hit me this week, and so I wrote it down, just wrote down some other verses, and had some thoughts with that. But I'm going to read 14, 18, 25, and 26. For the body does not consist of one member, but of many. But as it is, God arranged the members in the body, each of them as he chooses. Verse 25, that there be no division in the body, but that the members may have the same care for one another. If one member suffers, we all suffer together. If one member is honored, all rejoice. In thinking about our team, we have a lady who works at she was telling us yesterday, she works at a warehouse, and she does all the organization for the warehouse. Well, for our gift bags, they were talking about how much we needed the organization for that, and they needed somebody to help take care of the finances because they've got to get everything tallied and all that kind of stuff, and she's perfect for the job. One of the ladies works with Operation Christmas Child, and so she's done this before, and she's put things together and that kind of thing. And I have a daughter that sings, and we're having a worship night. It's just really cool how God has put all of this together, and I'm so thankful that it's not just our church as the body, but it's the universal church that works together. And I don't know why, but in my mind popped, this is silly. Have you ever seen a bodybuilder who doesn't work out his legs? And I say he, but do you know what I'm talking about? Like there are some people who will build up and they have this big, massive, muscular body, and then you see them walk away in some shorts and you're going, I think they forgot something. But they have like these little bird legs, and it doesn't support them. I don't know how useful that strength would be. And then I thought about, you all know we do yard work, and so there would be days where we would go do 10, 12 yards, and I'm just taking ibuprofen every 4 hours just to get through the day. And I feel like I'm a strong person, but your body's kind of tired and whatever, and that's okay because that's life. But then I started working out and strengthening my core, and all of a sudden I didn't need the ibuprofen every 4 hours. And it's because I didn't have strength all over. And so as the body of Christ, when we don't each do what God has called us to do, when we don't use our gifts and talents for Him, we are unevenly strengthened. So we have the bird-legged bodybuilders, and we have the people who have to take ibuprofen because their core's not strong enough. And so it just helped me remember and to think about how God has called each one of us to something. We each have talents. I feel very not talented. But God's given each of us a place to work and to minister. And it may be different at different times in our lives. But I encourage you to do that, to use the strengths that God has given you. So anyway, there's my devotion. Thank you all for listening.
And we do need to pray for them as they travel and as they minister. I appreciate the information because I do believe it's good for us to pray specifically. And I was thinking this morning in Sunday school when we were in Isaiah 6, and Isaiah was in the temple, and he confronted the Lord confronted him, I guess, and asked who's willing to go. And we kind of joked in our class. It's like, well, it was an audience of one that he was talking to, but still God asked. And he wanted Isaiah to commit and to give himself to the work that God would have him to do. And, that's the way it is with us. And one of the ministries, one thing I think is really is awesome. You don't have to be a full-time missionary to go and do some of these things that the Hannah Project offers. It's open to anybody and everybody who's willing. They have multiple trips per year. And so if you have an interest in that, it's available. If you feel like the Lord's leading you to do something along those lines, there's all kinds of projects and works that you can go to. And but one thing that we all can do, and I know you may have your favorite passage on prayer that you just always go to. Usually when I think of prayer, my first thing that comes to mind is James chapter 5, right? And is any among you sick? Let him call upon the name of the Lord, and he confess your sins to one another, and then the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much, and immediately into the story of Elijah on Mount Carmel, and that whole thing. And one thing that's always stood out to me about that story of Elijah praying, the first prayer he prayed was answered immediately. A few short words, and fire came. And if you read on in the story, he goes out to pray for rain, and he has to pray 7 times before the first cloud starts to form. And it's kind of a reminder that God hears and answers our prayer, but he answers in his time. But prayer is important. Elijah still prayed. And in 1 John chapter 5, and I guess I just thought of this in correspondence to what Deandra was going to be sharing tonight, knowing what our part is in their ministry. We're not all going to Bulgaria, but we can all be praying for them while they're in Bulgaria. And I know the context is, can be applied in different ways, but in 1 John chapter 5, this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And if we know that he hears us, whatsoever we ask, we know that we have the petitions that we desired of him. And so God does hear and answer our prayers, especially, obviously, those prayers that we pray in his will. And you may have heard this. There's countless stories, and sometimes I think we hinder ourselves in the Western culture. But there's countless stories of missionaries and God answering prayers in miraculous and amazing ways. And you may have heard this one. This one surfaced within the last couple of years. And I just wanted to share it to emphasize the importance of us doing our part in these works that we partner with and that we pray. One time a man walked up to a missionary and said, "I have something to confess." And this man who came up admitted to the missionary that he and his friends had followed the missionary into the woods, and their intention was to rob and to kill him. But the only thing that stopped them was a company of guards that were walking with the missionary at that time. The reason we didn't, he said, is because we saw you were surrounded by 26 armed guards. The missionary was quite shocked to hear the news, but he was also surprised to know of the 26 guards. And the missionary said, "I have no idea what you're talking about. I was all by myself." Then the missionary returned and shared this experience with congregations and churches as he was giving his report back to the churches. And a man in one of the congregations jumped to his feet and told the missionary how the 26 guards appeared. He goes, "I was led on that day and at that time to get together with a group of people, and we all prayed for you." Then the man urged those who prayed with him to stand, and one by one, all 26 of them stood. This is wild stuff, isn't it? But we serve an amazing God. And one pastor who was sharing this story encouraged his congregation with a quote from Ian Bounds. And Ian Bounds said, "May you remember these words: prayer is not preparation for battle, prayer is the battle." And there's times that prayer is a struggle. There's a reason it's a discipline. but we need to be praying. And we need to partner, and not just with Deandra and Carolina, for sure with them, and that the Lord would do these things. And we've already been given one big prayer request. They need a whole lot of shoeboxes there on that Saturday, ready to give these children. But that the Lord would just bless these efforts and these works. And I'm thankful we serve a God who hears and answers prayers. And it's a spiritual battle. I'm also thankful I don't think we fully comprehend the scope of the church and just how big. We live in a big world, and there's a lot of folks. We have crested over 8 billion in population in the world now. I don't know what percentage of that population claims Christ or is part of the church, but that's a lot of folks. And that's over a lot of ground when you think about the whole earth. And the church, the kingdom of God, is massive. And we definitely need to be praying for one another locally, but we need to be engaged in praying universally as well. And if there's nothing else we can do, Deandra issued the challenge again. We're all called to something. We're all gifted to do something. One thing we absolutely can do that impacts the kingdom of Christ is pray. It's not a cop-out. It's very much active in the work that God is doing around the world. And I'll be honest, it blows my mind that God desires for us to do that, because we don't persuade God to do anything He doesn't intend to do. But it's His way of involving us in what He is doing. And I do think He allows us to play a part in how much He does by the amount that we actually engage in prayer. And so I'm challenged. I hope that you're challenged as well to be even more involved in the prayer ministry that God has given to His church. Before we close, I do want to share one announcement. And if someone else has something you want to mention that you're involved with, well, I guess two announcements, because I have some information. I didn't mention this morning because it's a little further out, but there is a sign-up sheet for Young at Heart. It's a week from Tuesday. It's on the 11th of December, but it would be great if you know you're going to come to go ahead and sign up. It's finger foods this time. I'm assuming that is a potluck finger foods. Is that correct, Mom? Yes, okay. And they're going to do a Dirty Santa exchange if you'd like to participate with a $5 limit. But please sign up and please come and be a part of that. And then another one, which is an item of prayer of different nature, but Linda Garrison's grandson, Charlie, is that right? Is Charlie the grandson? Charlie and his wife Amanda, some of you probably are aware, they had an emergency delivery of their child on Monday of last week. The child died on Thursday. And they knew that was a possibility when they delivered as early as they did. But that service is tomorrow. And so be in prayer for them. I don't know. It's going to be, the service is at Grace Life Church of the Shoals. Visitation is from 11 to noon, and then the service follows. And so be in prayer for the Garrison and the Blunt family during this time. I can't imagine the emotion, especially coming back from, yeah, that's hard. So I'm going to ask Deandra and Carolina if you would come and just stand here in the front. And if our deacons' wives would come first and lay hands on these two, and then if our deacons would join their wives and lay hands on their wives. And then if anyone from the rest, of course, Jeremy, get up here. We may have to pray for Jeremy too. He and Jerry Dean are going to be batching it together, I think. Oh, Jeremiah it's okay. Jeremiah's here. We're good. So, and then everyone else, we encourage you to come and gather around as well as we we're going to dismiss in prayer. Any other announcements or things that need to be said before we have this prayer of sending out and dismissal? Yes. Oh, I read it wrong. Either that or it's in there wrong. One or the other. Thank you for correcting me. The 16th. That's a week from Tuesday either way, right? So,
Did you mention y'all will be meeting over there and the play will be over here Wednesday?
I mentioned that this morning, but yes, Wednesday night, adults will be in the dining area of the Life Center. I looked at the time as the 11th instead of the date. It starts at 11. So I wondered where I got 11 from. So let's pray and thank you for those corrections. And let's just ask God's hand and blessing upon them. I didn't talk to him ahead of time, but Brother Mike Jones, would you lead us in this prayer of sending out?
Father, thank you for allowing us to be together tonight in your name, and Lord, we just pray your blessings on this mission trip. Pray for your safety and your movement of your will during this time. We just ask that everyone that goes be safe, go with your anointing hand. Lord, have your will be done with these folks. Lord, just thank you for the blessings in life. Thank you for those that have contributed to allow them to go, not just Carolina and Deandra, but all that will be going on this trip. Lord, bless it, bless them, watch over them, give them a fruitful time there, Lord, and just guide and direct your will be done. These things we ask in Christ's name.
Amen. Amen. Hug their neck and we're dismissed.
All right, they leave on Wednesday. Who's cooking on Thursday? Friday,
Jeremy's got a sign up.
Saturday, and some people. That's right, I'll be there. Sign up list in the back. He does. He does.
They still needed some up here.